Hello, everyone. It is June 8th, 2023. This is the SIG-Networking Ingress NGINX sub-project, which means it is a CNCF project, and it adheres to the CNCF Code of Conduct. If you have any issues with anyone in the meeting, please report those to myself or to Ricardo, or to the CNCF and or the SIG-Networking team leads. And with that, we'll go ahead and get started. Usually we'll jump in. We've got the three of us, but Brendan, this is your first meeting, isn't it? First community meeting?
Yep.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, I'm Brendan. I'm, I don't know, a contributor now, I suppose. But yeah, just looking for ways to play around with some NGINX and Lua, I suppose.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I met Brendan at KeepCon EU when it did a presentation on CVEs and the release management of Ingress NGINX. So yeah, got an awesome contributor out of it. So it makes the stress of writing a presentation worth it.
It was your Nirvana karaoke that actually got me here. It wasn't the presentation, sorry to say.
Hey, no, that's fine too. I will definitely continue doing karaoke. That's always a lot of fun. It is it's almost a religion here at Vanguard. Long, and for anybody else listening, we at KubeCon EU there was a karaoke event, and I decided to bust out some Nirvana. Anyway, but thank you, Brendan. You've already made several really great contributions, so we really appreciate that. And I know we need more Lua folks, so again, appreciate you diving into those as well. So there's just it's a huge code base. There's lots of different pieces, and we all can't be experts in all of the pieces. So appreciate the help all around. So unfortunately, we haven't had a meeting in a while. We were talking about that before the recording. So there's probably a lot of action items that just need reviewed and looked at. I know there was some open telemetry stuff. There's still issues. There's always issues with OpenSSL. I know we need to get a patch release out for I think Go 125 is coming out soon, but there's also 124. I need to open up an issue. We need to find a way to make our Go building easier. Just again, making things easier, because it takes about three PRs to upgrade Go and then 2 more to upgrade the image. So again, just trying to continue to reduce that. So I'm going to add that as an action item.
Have we, I was having a look at K-Promote, the CNCF project that was supposed to make it easier to like promote your images and things. I don't know if we could maybe leverage that.
I looked at it for the release stuff, but we might need to relook at it. K-Promote, I think, only does the PR for you and to the promotion, to the staging PR. So if they could do that, that'd be great. But it's still, we can walk through the Go stuff because we build everything inside of our engine, inside of a test runner that has Go installed, and then we build the ingress binaries in that test runner, and then we build the image on top of that. So it's like 4 or 5 PRs that I just want to revamp the testing, all of it. But the Go one is probably the most pertinent because there's always a patch release. Anyway. So I'm going to add that as an action item to open up that issue so that we can reduce that, and just as a Go patch release comes, we could rapidly get that out, because a patch release always comes with fixes. I know there's vulnerabilities right now that 124 fixes. It's the same reason for us fixing and getting either getting curl out or getting OpenSSL, making it easier to patch our images. It's a process right now. I think Long knows it very well. Most of us know it takes a lot of manual effort to update all of our images. So I'll take that action item. Are there any old action items that we know of? I know, Brandon, you've got a couple Lua things that you're looking at. We can review those in the open topics. If you want to post some of the issues that you're looking at.
Yeah. So I've got the long spin, I think long ping Ricardo on it, but I've got an open issue on the obsolete NGINX directives warnings being logged out. And then also the HTTP bun, like trying to refactor the end-to-end test framework and try and reduce that, because that's also quite a lot of duplication and a lot of code everywhere. So those two things I'm waiting on. The end-to-end testing PR, moving the HTTP bun deployment into the framework, is a blocker to remove echo, because a lot of our end-to-end tests use echo, some of them use HTTP bun. So just kind of moving them to one thing will reduce the complexity of the code base the end-to-end test quite a lot.
That'd
so
be
those
great.
are the only two I'm waiting on. Yeah. There's also an issue with the canary, where the canaries take priority over the default backend, which I've kind of been digging into, but I think that's based in the Lua code base, which is why I'm digging into that.
Okay. If you can paste that the PRs into that doc, I just dropped them into the web chat.
Yeah.
Let me go back and just review and see if there's, because I know there's several action items that we just need to look into. I want to make sure that we've closed out, because I said I would review them, but I'm just bad. So I just want to use these 10 minutes to review these action items. And Hassan's not on, so we can't really talk about open telemetry. Unless Long, you know of anything.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm waiting for you to go through what you have planned. But basically, I think the priority is that without Ricardo being here, there are some PRs that are short, quick, and probably you could approve them, and they are kind of not super important, but quite like they are relevant for even current state, current release. So once that is done, I think we can talk about issues. But then I'll wait for you.
Yeah, I was just trying to see if there was any open action items that we haven't looked at in a while. I just wanted to make sure that what's in the doc we've actually gone through, because it has been a while since we've had a community meeting and since I've looked at this doc. So, and the first one popped up was the open telemetry module one, which I know we should be able to close this, because we were able to, we've added the documentation, we've have a release with the module. The open telemetry module, we should be able to close this issue, right?
We're basically waiting for Ricardo to test it. So the thing is, there was one Zoom where Ricardo and Ehsan talked about things, and so there are PRs he has put in. So as soon as Ricardo gets time to look at those PRs and approve them, the open telemetry part will kind of take care of itself. I think there won't be any open unfinished business on open telemetry.
Okay. Let's go look and see.
I think there are two issues from Ehsan, two PRs. I'll just check once again.
Yeah, so here's the integration. So the open telemetry integration has been completed. And why did we close this?
Another one. I'll check. I'll just check.
Yeah, so the module integration and the docs, I think, have been merged. But I think we can close that issue.
Yeah. I think we can close that issue. The only open.
It's already.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask these folks if they have an issue to open up separate issues.
Wait, are you looking at which the font size?
Just the original open telemetry module that Hassan opened up back in September. We've completed it. And so I'm going to close this and I'm going to ask anyone that has issues on this to please open up separate issues.
Okay.
This one sounds like an issue right here. That's this person pushed in. So the defaults are just too low. That's fine. I honestly think that's an easy fix. But let me open up this one as a separate issue. We were doing pretty good with the issues. We're back up to a little too high.
But I have noticed that like a lot of our issues are just support requests, right? So we should probably try and start moving those people to Slack instead of having them open for so long.
Yeah, we've not been in meetings, and we've not done a really good job at triaging issues because I know I haven't looked at them outside of the meetings.
Brendan, one of the canary issues that you responded to just a little while ago, you could be having some data, but I just wanted to say that I don't see a clear I don't see
I think
Go ahead. Please go ahead.
I think that canary thing that the one that I was responding to yesterday, I honestly think that he's just using a version of the controller that's extremely out of date. And that's potentially causing his issues because he's having like syncing issues with his ingresses, and he's using like 1.0.4 on a 1.24 cluster. So I kind of pushed
I'm
him
coming
to
from
just...
a very different point of view, right? If I right now you use an older version of the controller, 1.3 or whatever, or in very latest 1.8, if I configure a workload with this very vanilla standard canary example, the one which is posted on CubeSphere website, right? On Minikube or on Kind, it works flawlessly without any issues. Okay. There is no, the canary was never broken, at least since 1.x release. So,
but but he's not using 1.8, he's using 1.0.
Yeah. Right. So So my confusion right now is that I could be wrong, but I haven't seen his canary ingress raw in the issue. I think I've asked. I don't know if
He's
you
just
saw it.
posted it. He's just posted it today, like an hour or two ago. But I did it. I tried it on 1.6, 1.7, and 1.8. I think those are the ones we support, like actively try and support, and all of them worked perfectly. So I said he should try and upgrade.
Yeah, so let me.
I need to follow up on this one still. Just
No. You see, what I wanted to point at is this. The one he has posted, okay, it's got rewrite and all that. But in one single
guys,
post, there is this whole thing is missing. His curl to that specific host.
which one are we talking about? Because it's a little difficult for folks who are going to be following along the recording. We're having two conversations. So
10051.
Okay.
Issue 10051.
A rather new one.
So
and long congratulations, by the way. You got issue 10,000. Side note. Okay.
Yeah. So Brendan, what I was saying was in one single post, I have not seen him present like the curl request, the canary ingress describe, and the related log message from the controller part.
So yeah, he's split it up. So if you scroll down to the bottom, he's done like the full ingress for the canary and the thing. But it's also like,
yeah, I'm seeing that. So at least in my timeline, it says 3 hours ago to describe outputs. It looks like, or could be his YAML, I don't know. Canary ingress, main ingress. But those are the only two pieces of information he has posted, right? And also task type is implementation specific. But in that one single post, there is no description of the event from the controller log. There is no description of the request that was sent to this host. So he's got test.io. So if I create a ingress now, can ingress saying test.io, it will work perfectly for me. So So I'm just saying that often I have felt that, and often people have closed because they could not relate, or they're just starting with usage of canary or TLS. So I'm just suggesting that if we get that clearly done, then it will help a lot.
No, agree.
Yeah, so Brendan, I'm gonna go ahead and just assign this one to you for the follow-up. And we'll see what happens with the upgrade. But yeah, so we were able to replicate no issues with the new version. So we're thinking that he just needs to upgrade because of the 124 and the 104 Ingress controller version mismatch.
Yeah, I really don't know what his issue is, because I tried his ingresses as well and they seem to work fine.
On the newest versions?
Yeah, on the newest versions.
Okay. We'll see what he says, and if everything's all good. People are really bad at closing issues, even if something is fixed or not. So just if it hits lifecycle frozen, close it, because you were able to prove that everything works on those ones. That's just again, try to keep the issues down and close them as needed.
No. I'll manage this one. That's fine.
Thanks. yeah, no, Long is also absolutely right. People are bad at posting information. We even have it all in the tickets. So, but this one, this is pretty standard, I think. In progress. Okay. So I got that one. All the open. I need to follow up on that one. I need to follow up with Dylan on these cores ones still. Let me just. I'm just add these. Absolutely. Okay. Let me put these in the discussion stuff. Sorry, we haven't got to those yet. 17. A little bit longer than I would like. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing the cleanup that we haven't done in a while. Apologize, folks.
No
I think
stress.
we close that one.
I think it's good to be organized, right?
Yeah, and we just haven't been lately. So I need to go through that one. As the path type stuff, actually, we've already done that. We haven't done the list of requirements for CPDP for an alpha yet, so I know Ricardo said he's working on the annotation stuff. I think that's what he said, but it's also a bank holiday, so he's off for the day.
James.
Yeah, he's trying to finish up the validations. Yeah, what's up?
One request. So there are two PRs. Can you actually look at them now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just doing the cleanup for the action items. I've spent a little bit longer than 10 minutes on it. So go ahead. Can you drop it in the discussion?
Okay.
Hey, we got the dev mailing list. I got that done. Is that okay? Okay. We do need to follow up on that Go vulnerability checker. So I remember there was a symbols issue, which increased it a little bit, the size of the thing. But if we can use Go vulnerability check report, I think that would work.
So I put one link 10062.
Okay, that's far enough back. That's a lot of stuff to catch up on, so that's good. 10062, copy link.
And 10055.
And 557. Okay. So these are the current ones we're all working on. Yeah, we'll discuss those. So let me just go through the list in the order that we have them in. So the HTTP bun stuff, you said that's the one that's being blocked right now.
So it's blocking removing echo from the test. I think I think everything's fine. It's literally just moving the HTTP bun as part of the framework and then having an enablement flag so you can enable it.
Okay.
I think we had a conversation with Ricardo around deploying it once as part of the bootstrapping of the cluster, but then there came in some problems with like routing across namespaces because every test is run in its own namespace. So now it's just deployed in the test namespace based on a flag. And then
every EDE test is its own namespace, but it all uses the same HTTP bun.
No, that's not what we were doing. We're just doing because so the idea would be we try and do this for the external services.
Service type.
Yeah. Which I can do that work as well, but I think other tests will need their own instance of HTTP bin because it's testing like namespace routing, right? And not cross namespace routing.
Okay, no, it's fine. I just make it so that the tests can make their own. Is that what this PR does?
Yeah, that's what this PR does. So there's a
Okay.
flag that just you pass through to a new default framework with HTTP bun deployment, and then it'll deploy the HTTP bun deployment.
Okay, I'm fine with that because again, it gets rid of bin. Every test can run their own, and then we can consolidate as needed. We can have a default one, and if they don't define one, the default one just uses it. But we can iterate on that. So, but if this does one right now for each test
No.
that requires it,
Yeah, that's what it does.
yeah, yeah, I think that's fine. And if the tests, and again, I put a lot of stock in our end-to-end tests. So if the tests are passing, I think that's fine, but I'll go ahead and I'll add it to my list of things to look at because I want to get that one out the door. That's a great improvement for us. I assigned to this one. Or it's just Ricardo. There's a bunch of people assigned. A bunch of people have looked at it. Okay, or assigned to it. That's fine. Cool. What was the last discussion point on the absolute warnings?
Essentially just waiting.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's just waiting for Ricardo, I think.
this doesn't remove them. It just yells at people and telling them that they're obsolete and they should stop using them.
Essentially, if they're specifically specifying them, then those warnings will appear. If they're not, it won't. We won't add them to the NGINX conf because we already use the directives that we that replace
That aren't
them, the large.
deprecated.
I think it's large client headers. We already have defaults for those, and they're already deployed. So this will essentially only it'll only set them if people are setting them in the config map or on headers, is my understanding.
Okay. Do we have tests for these config map options? There's no tests for these config map options?
Well, none that have failed, as far as I can see. So I think because it essentially generates the NGINX conf, we would need to, I don't know, just do a, hey, this is our default, and just match that the generated is the same as the default.
Brendan, did you check any issue where somebody reported this error message of obsolete, and they were also using a annotation or a config map value that was related to this directive?
No. So essentially, all the issues related to these directives, they were saying that they don't want it set at all because it's deprecated, and they're getting warnings.
Okay.
No, that's right.
What I'm comfortable with accepting this.
No, what I was coming out to asking was, I thought my understanding from your explanation now is, if somebody uses an annotation or a config map value, that relates to these two obsolete directives, then they get configured and start spewing obsolete messages in the controller log, right? So I was trying to understand. I forgot because I forgot the details of the issues where people reported this message in the controller logs, and I forgot specifically if they had configured an annotation or a config map value, which would put this in NGINX conf. So I was wondering if you check that, or is it okay to just go ahead and remove this any which way because it's obsolete?
So I think the reason we went this way is Ricardo is worried about people that use these already, and they haven't, because I mean, if for instance you've, because the HTTP max field size is a security thing, right? So it's essentially you're blocking too big payloads or whatever. So I think Ricardo's, and I mean, if he does watch this, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think the idea is people have who do use this, we don't want to break their deployments. We just want them to, we just don't want to affect people that aren't using these. And
Yeah.
then
So
obviously
that was the defaults, right? If we just switch the defaults back, I think that will solve that problem.
No. So if you switch the defaults back, then it's going to set them. So the idea
Oh,
is
that's
if
right.
we don't want them
So
to be set.
So this could be a breaking change, because if folks don't set them, it won't be there if they're assuming the defaults are set. So we probably need to release this for a 1.9.
It would, but so the idea is the assumption is that you want to use the large client headers buffers, which
Yes.
already has a default set, right? So I
Yes.
wouldn't say it's a breaking change. It's just a because that's default set, and that has the exact same implications as these headers, right? I mean, as these directives.
Okay.
So the assumption would transfer to those, I would assume. That's my logic. But I think this is a conversation maybe.
Yeah, I'm still. Yeah. Okay. Let's keep that open then. Sorry, we'll go to the next one.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, thank you. Because we don't have any telemetry on understanding who's using those or not.
Yeah.
This one's just the community update. I wanted to make folks aware that with our 1.8.0 release, there is a new configuration option to disable regexes on anything other than implementation type. So it is, what's the configuration option? Strict validation path type. Yeah. Strict validation path type. So if you enable strict validation path type, the only path that can have regexes is implementation type specific. Again, that will require some changes. We've set it to false. If you want to be more restrictive and you want to adhere to the Kubernetes API, set this as an administrator and we'll go from there. Again, the thought was that in a breaking change, this will be a major breaking change. So when we move to a 2.0, we're going to set this to true. So get folks used to using it now. We are not ready to do the 2.0 release yet. I think we want to do the annotation validations, possibly the CPDP split. So we're not ready to do a 2.0 release just yet. We probably need to do more planning and discussion around what a 2.0 release is going to look like. But this will be one of the breaking changes in there. So that's a good action item for me, or for just us to track, is to track the 2.0 breaking changes, path validation, path
Also,
validation true. Also, go ahead.
Also, maybe with a discussion around the 2.0 releases, maybe some of the 2.0 stuff, or between 2 and 3, we should start looking at, I know it's a swear word here, but gateway API.
The idea is that we would get through the control plane data plane split. That would also help make gateway API easier to implement.
Okay.
Because we'll have everything already defined, and then we'll just push it to the NGINX control, the NGINX, because really it's just us defining
Controller,
all of the
right?
the gateway, taking all of the data that the gateway API is asking for, configure it, and then push it to the NGINX config. So if we've got the control plane data plane split, that helps us with that because we've already got the interface defined. So that was the idea. And also the CPDP split helps with a couple other security concerns. So we do need to probably pick that up. I don't want to say this the end of this year, but it definitely should be like a 2024 thing that we should focus on.
Okay.
And then, yeah, removing Jaeger. We still don't know about, we still haven't made a decision about the mod security. We need to get more information about that because it's supposed to be moved to community support. So the company that's supporting mod security now is moving it to community support. And the conversation is, well, do we need to remove mod security? So that still needs to be a topic for discussion. And if we remove it, what are we going to replace it with, if there is anything to replace it with? Anyway, so that's the ideas around the 2.0 breaking changes. Anyway. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for indulging me on that one. And then now we can, I knew we'd fill up the hour. We didn't even get to do any issue triaging, but let's go ahead and look at these two that long that you've posted about. I was just reading this one before we came. Is this the one you posted 1062, 162?
Yeah.
What's up? So this one's just changing the documentation because I guess there's a change in how AWS, all the clouds do it differently. Really, my thought here on this one is that I don't know why in our README we're just doing the AWS specific one, because I think in the issue they talked about, yeah, this. So everyone does it differently. So why don't we just put this in a comment and not set it at all for anyone? So again, it's a user's choice, but we provided them with the options. Or we
Because I
just
think
take it out of the README altogether.
it comes in two decoupled components. One is a annotation out of the controller, and one is an annotation from the cloud provider.
Okay. But we're setting this annotation. You're saying,
No, open the
Sorry.
values file for a better view of that.
services beta Kubernetes IO. Yeah. Why are we setting the AWS one specifically?
If you open the values file, you'll see that one annotation is out of the controller. The other one is depends on the cloud provider. So we're not setting, we're just documenting here that if somebody needs the internal one, then they first have to enable the controller to provision an internal one, and then to get the right internal facing LB from the provider, they have to put that specific string as the value for the key of
Yeah, no,
of
I
the
get
LB.
it.
Okay.
What I'm saying, and I'll just add this comment, is we should just put, where was this comment? Sorry, I'm going all over the place. We should just put this comment in there. Just make this whole thing a comment.
There is a docs page where we are going into detail, so we'll have to remove the docs page if we change how it is now.
Oh, they've got it all right here. Why don't we just, okay, I get it. That's fine. We put it in the request. If you want more, go to the page here. Okay. Cool. That's fine.
We ourselves also have a docs page for internal.
For internal? Yeah, we do. Oh, this is for internal one. That's fine. This one. Okay. Easy enough. We need to discuss this one in Slack. and then this one, I've got it down here for me to review. And with 10 minutes left to go, let's go ahead and go look at issues.
One more. There's one more, right?
There's one more. Oh, did I broken links? Sorry, we've got some broken links, huh? I thought we had there's a CI job that's supposed to check these, I thought.
The Kubernetes website itself changed the URL, so
Oh, okay. Oh, does it not redirect? Oh, it doesn't. Okay. Awesome. What a good documentation update. Cool. Let me close all the rest of these tabs because now we've got a million tabs open. And I bet we get through one. So this was an interesting one I saw yesterday. We probably should also start looking at them from oldest. There's a lot that are, well, triage accepted. Well, no, these are needs triage. Let's start at the top then. Okay, 1.1 exposed traffic here. Let me post it for you all so you can see it. Expose the deployment, HPS call external service to an external service. Okay. He probably has the default number if he's not changing it. Because I think the default worker process is 2. Also, he's on GKE, so it all depends on how if he's got the traffic routing set up. There's lots of things he's not providing us information with. So the worker process, all the versions. I don't disagree that he probably does have a load balancing issue, but there's also more information that we need. Because I know Google does a bunch of network magic for them as well.
We should
But
maybe
there's
just
going
get
to
a
be an
label.
imbalance.
We should get a label needs more information and start using that.
Yeah, there is one for triage. I think it's needs information, but let's go look. I can never remember all of the labels. Needs information.
we could have dived into this, but he's saying his app is actually going out somewhere else. So that is not on the controller, right? He could be sustaining sessions to one pod for hours if that pod does not come back from the internet with whatever fetch it was doing.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna. Yeah, that does need. I'm gonna ask him to explain this a little bit more. don't want that. I think that's what I want. Okay, hey, we got through one. I didn't think we'd get through it. Normally, when we're triaging stuff, we only get through like maybe 3. Oh, good. Another a Lua and a mod security one. You got a twofer. Trying to use the Lua script in mod security throws an error doing Lua support not enabled in mod security. So something we're probably doing wrong, or something that's now out of date. Mod security rules directive error reference missing or not informed. Lua support not enabled. I know we do a bunch of hackery with setting the Lua paths. I think I looked at this issue a little while ago because I know we set, if we scroll all the way up, we do a lot of setting of like Lua environment variables to point it to the Lua JIT that we install for reference to mod security config local on build AMD. So he's using the latest version, that's good. On 125, okay. Deploy it, exec into the pod, and create a Lua script. Sounds like something's broken. This does smell like an issue. I'll hit triage accepted, but I still don't know. Huh.
It seems like a very dangerous idea for anyone to exec anything they want.
Yeah, again, this is the same kind of along the lines of like the config snippet. If we give them the option to do it.
But this is in the web application firewall, so there may be a rule in web application firewall, and then he'll put a exec on some magic Lua script that will go and mess with that.
Again, if they let users do it, there's nothing we can do to stop them. We allow them to run Lua code. But this does smell like an issue. I think we did update. Did we update the version of Lua lately? What's the Git line? Let me see a Git line.
I think OpenRest is still using 5.1, no?
Lua?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Lua. We use the Lua JIT. I honestly, again, don't know how it works. Is we install the 2.1 version of Lua JIT and we do a bunch of hacking with the pointing it to specific versions. But I thought I saw an update. There was an update 6 months ago to the lib version and to the mod security version. So maybe that was fixed. The issue that we have that fix in for was fixed. Why is there no diff? They're identical. Oh, because master is identical. So we're on the latest version. I wonder if they fixed that. No, not late. PCI. That's not our issue either. All right, we're at 12. I think I've got a 12.
All right.
We are doing, what is that? Lua, that's the Lua stuff that we do. So again, I've gotten too familiar with this build script. I really want to burn this build script to the ground. Yeah, so here's the issue. Let's go look and see if that got fixed. Hey, look at that, closed. 278 should help, but it's open. So they didn't. I think that's why we fix it. Okay. Definitely need some follow-up on that one. Look into it. All right, folks. Thank you for joining.
Cool.
And as always, we'll catch up on Slack.
Have a good
Thanks, everyone.
day. Ciao.
Nice one.
Bye.
Bye.